Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome to yet another video. In this particular video, what we're doing is we're doing some work on the Mini, and as you can see in my hand just here, we're installing a fire extinguisher in there today. Choosing somewhere for your fire extinguisher to go to that's going to be quick and easily accessible is just as important as actually having one inside the car. One such place you could maybe keep it is inside the boot. You could maybe have it attached into the floor or the back wall where the back of the seats are. In my case, I've got a custom built boot kit in here which I made myself, not bragging or anything. I could attach it to this little thing just here, but obviously behind here is the fuel tank, so unless you have one of these, do not drill into that, because obviously fuel, metal shards, potentially sparks coming from metal on metal drill action, not good. I will say with that, for anyone wondering, I have put little wooden blocks behind because this is only 3mm thick wood and plyboard, and yeah, that wouldn't have got a proper grip in that. In my case, because I wanted it to be easily accessible, the boot is, although not often used, it does get filled up pretty quickly because it is tiny on a Mini, so the boot is not an ideal place from where I want to put it. Another place you can maybe keep your fire extinguisher in a Mini, because of course, because it's so tiny, nothing is really too far away. You could maybe keep it on the rear parcel shelf, just put it in between the two speakers. But again, this can be used for extra storage, so maybe not where I want to put mine. Another spot would be down here on the door bins. Either side would work. However, it can get in the way of passenger rear access, especially if you've got it on the side here. But also it reduces what little leg room you have just down here, so again, in my use, not necessarily a viable option. However, for somebody else it might well be. An alternative other place might be somewhere just up here. Of course, this is where your seatbelt sort of runs down, so again it might catch on that. Another place would be just down here along the bottom of the window. You've got quite a few options, it would seem. In the front then, you've got a couple more options. You've got the actual top of the dashboard, which you could mount it, but it wouldn't necessarily look great for shows, and let's face it, many Minis are used for going to shows these days. You could also have them mounted inside the dash rail. Of course, you've got them going full width of the car, apart from the bit where the little binnacle is, and that works for both later style binnacle Minis and obviously the large centre Speedo Minis. But again, that takes away a bit of your storage. Alternatively, you could maybe keep them underneath here, but quite a lot of these fire extinguishers are actually quite large. So in my one's case, I've actually tried to just size it up just to see, because I actually was prepared for this video, and it just doesn't fit in this gap, so this will probably be staying. Yes, this is an old radio housing for a Mini, but I'm just using it as a shelf for a little waterproof poncho and my little tyre pressure gauge thing. Alternatively, if you've got a centre console like I have, just move the lighting down here. There we go. You could put it on there, but because the heater is behind there, heat and little gas canisters is not usually a good mix when so directly close together, so yeah, that's not really a great option either. Plus, if I ever want to take this apart, I'd have to keep moving the fire extinguisher out of the way as well. So really that leaves us with basically one other place we could go, other than of course just up here on the doors, but windows coming down, not the best idea. So really that only leaves me with one place that's going to be quick and easily accessible should the need arise. Not that I'm hoping it does, because I really hope that it doesn't, but in the case that you do need one, I've decided I'm going to mount it just here between the seat brackets on the passenger side of the car. You could put it on the driver's side just over there, obviously same gap, same width. However, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it on the driver's side, because if we have a quick look at our fire extinguisher, it's only plastic holding the canister all in place, and if that ever breaks, this could come loose and then roll under your pedals, and nobody wants to see the end result of that now. So I've gone for passenger side, just here in between this. Yes, that is my speaker wiring you're seeing. Not many ways you can really hide it in a Mini. But I'm going to mount it just on here, and I have tested it just to make sure it does fit, because as I've said already, I actually came prepared for this video. So this is just a quick test fit just to absolutely 100% make sure this does fit underneath the seat, between the brackets and of course the wiring. Also proof for YouTube purposes before anybody comments. There we go, it fits quite nicely. Put the little mounting bracket just here, and the speaker wiring fits quite nicely behind it because it doesn't go full length, which is excellent. So that is where we're going to put it. Just to give an idea of what it looks like, that's how it will fit, and then obviously the rest of the fire extinguisher will just go across like that. It's all quite simple and straightforward really when you think about it. So to install this, we need to take the little fire extinguisher canister out of the bracket anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. That's just put to one side for 1 minute. But what we've got in here to mount it are 3 little holes. You've got one there, one on the side, one in the middle, and one at this end. So basically the idea is just put it on and screw it in using some self-tappers, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's not too complex. So let's mark this all up and then start drilling, shall we? It doesn't have to be neat. There we go, that's level. Right, we can turn that way, and those are our marks. You got one just there, one there, and one just here. Right, start drilling. Here's the drill we got, little Ryobi one. We are using a 3mm drill with this. The useful thing about the tape is it prevents damage on this, and it also helps you mark it up, so it's great for that. Pull that off, and there we go. We got our 3 holes in this little strut bracey thing. Now before anybody starts worrying, 3 little tiny holes like this are not going to cause any structural problems to this whatsoever. Plus with the fact you've got the little fire extinguisher mounting actually going on here, yeah, that's going to help sort of keep it all together anyway, so no problems there. So I've just done is put a little bit of paper underneath this just to catch any paint. So what I'm going to do is just put a tiny bit of paint in these holes to help protect them. I know there's a likelihood that when the screw goes in it's going to just take that paint away, but every little helps, as they say. It is now about half an hour later, and this is now all nice and dry, which is excellent. I've said the majority of this is probably going to end up getting ripped off by the screws anyway, but it doesn't matter, every little helps with this sort of thing. So I'm going to take this away now. Don't need that. What we're going to do now is install this into it. To give a bit of extra protection, what I'm going to do is put a little bit of copper grease on the ends of these self-tappers. And that way then, wherever the paint gets taken away, that should take its place. Right, manually tighten this up quickly. It's just to hold it. I'll tighten it up properly in a moment. Got a little screwdriver. Right, and that's in nice and securely, so now, right, and now the final finishing touch. And there we are. Job done. All fitted nice and securely in the Mini, so that means if there's ever a fire, quick and easy access, job's a good one. So the fire extinguisher is now fully installed, as you can see, nice and securely attached, that's not going anywhere, which is absolutely excellent. It's turned out really nicely, it's not in the way of the seat moving either, which is excellent. I'd say that is a job well done. As you can see, for anyone doubting, this is the right sort of fire extinguisher for doing not only obviously fuel-based fires, but also electrical fires, because it's dry powder. Never use water-based fire extinguishers with electrical fires because it'll only make it worse. But yeah, you can see that was a fairly quick, straightforward, easily install on this. So if you haven't done it already, I would fully recommend you do this on your Mini or Classic or even modern car, depending on what you've got. Likelihood is if you've got a Classic Mini, that's one of the reasons why you're watching this video. But yeah, nice, easy installed, all good. Anyway, I think that sort of brings this video to a bit of a close. So thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, let me know where you've installed one of these in your Classic or modern car, or where you're thinking about it, if you are even thinking about doing such a thing. I'd fully recommend it anyway. And obviously don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification, because it'll let you know every time a new video goes live. And of course, as always with this channel, there's going to be plenty more car content to come. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. So until then, farewell.